Welcome to Friday Night Chats with Garage Geek. It's actually Thursday night, but I'm filming it tonight and I'm going to post it tomorrow because tomorrow I am doing my Christmas shopping, so I don't know what time I'll get home, and usually after Christmas shopping at the mall and tomorrow night I'll be too tired to probably sit and make a video. Like, that's hard work, but I won't have the same energy and enthusiasm, right? Welcome to Friday Night Chats. I have so much to talk to you about tonight. So much. I'm probably gonna miss a lot. Why? Because I've been off work, so I've been able to watch a few things, listen to a few things. I still have my kind of runny nose. It's kind of morphed into a cough, but I mean, I'm not feeling bad at all. So I have my, I'm like going all the way into the screen. I have my tea, so I'm going to be drinking that quite regularly. I remember one time I checked when I was looking at statistics. It would show like a drop off in the video, and it was when I took a sip of tea or something. That's when a lot of people left. So I was like, I've always been conscious of that since. I really don't think that's the case anymore, although I haven't looked recently. The people who usually watch my show now, they're regulars, and I so appreciate that. Oh, that reminds me. So Saturday is going to be my subscriber giveaway. I'm going to do my first live stream. If I can mess it up, I will mess it up. But I hope that you'll come. I've got, like 2-3 big boxes of stuff, and I have more that I have to find. So hopefully I'll have time Saturday morning. I haven't gone through my Funko Pops yet, and I want to do that. Okay, a couple of things that I wanted to tell you that I didn't get around to. So I've been planning to read a poem or two about this because I've been asked. So Damon Runyon's Poems for Men, and then when I read it, to tell you about it, the women are going to have to leave, right? Because this is only for the secret society of men. But that's not going to be in this episode, ladies, so you don't have to leave. All right. Next, I'm in the middle of a second chapter of this. I know I had some requests to talk about this book. I talked about chapter 1. I'm in the middle of chapter 2, but I am going to continue. What I've been doing all week is I've been really rearranging my room. I don't know if you can see it, but man, it's been a ton of work, and I'm nowhere near done. Although, I mean, I shouldn't say nowhere near. I'm like three quarters, but it's just every time I get to the point where I've got things pretty much arranged, I don't know what to do with all the leftover things that I have in piles. I got to figure it out. Plus, I have about 3 or 4 like huge piles of things that I'm going to be giving away on Saturday, which is at 4 o'clock Pacific time in the United States. So I've got all that stuff sitting around, which, that's kind of like a block to getting the room clean, but whatever. Not clean, organized. Oh, I wanted to say something else. Oh, I'm hoping that during the live stream, people will want to jump on for about 5 or 10 minutes just to say something they're thankful for getting this year, or show off something that's really nice in their collection, or some VCLT, or something they got this year from another member of YouTube. I left a bunch of stuff over there, and I'm going to go grab it. Dang it. So first, I want to show you this. I'm going to show one comic tonight because I bought this in a stream and everybody was laughing. Like, when someone is presenting a comic, the people can only write in the chat, and everybody was writing in the chat because, like, look, Flash is down, and then this is the top. And they were calling Flash a power bottom. And I don't know why, but it was so funny. It was just hilarious. Like, it was just, every comment was just building and building because he was like the top. I don't know why, but that was hilarious. So I just needed to show poor Flash, he's the power bottom. Did you? Yeah, you probably didn't need to hear that, but it was kind of funny. I bought these 3 books on a whim because when I was young, I remember seeing these. These are the Chariots of the Gods. It's kind of in line with like this, like Chariots of the Gods, where like aliens came down and mated with monkeys, and that's what advanced the human race, or something like that. And I remember that as a kid. And so I saw this. It was like a bundle, but it's not the first one. I want the first one, which is Chariots of the Gods. So this one is The Chariots Still Crash, The Gold of the Gods. Like, this guy really milked it. And In Search of ancient gods. Now, this is might be something different on my pictorial evidence for the impossible. But I'm looking. I'm hoping to find Chariots of the Gods, and I actually I'm like, I want to read these books. It's gonna be fun, I think. One of my resolutions is that I want to finish all the books that I started this year, and I want to try to finish them during break. So I've been working on this one. I'm halfway through now. There's 4 books in it, and I finished books 1 and 2. So I'm definitely going to have this, I'm going to have this finished by next week. But I did go ahead and finish this. Now, this is called Jenny of the Tetons. And I actually wanted to look something up for this, and I didn't. There's a young girl on this cover, and she is not Jenny. So this is a historical, what would you call it? Historical fiction. It's about a young girl whose family is massacred by Native Americans, and she has to go live with a distant relation. When she gets there, it's like way out in the wilderness. She finds out that the wife of the person, the relative, is a Native American, and she is like having a really hard time, adjusting to being in that family. That's all made up. So this is a fictional account of some kind of basis of history. And this is, if you go to Grand Teton National Park, there is a lake there called Jenny Lake, and there's another lake there called String Lake, I think. But the original name was the name of the husband. Now, the husband in history was a person who would lead people, explorers. He would lead people through the area and guide them through. And he married a Native American. And then the person who was mapping out the area, he named both lakes after the husband and the wife. So that's how we get the Jenny. So Jenny is actually this woman. There's a grave to this woman, a grave marker near where they lived. And it's a shame because I've been there 3 times, and now I would like to go visit her grave after reading this. And so this is a kid's book. This is the second kid's book that I've read like this, based on history, where they try to make history come alive for children. And I actually really like these books. They're trying to make the time period come alive for kids. And I don't think the author really pulls any punches. There's racism, there's, going in and taking over territory, and, massacres. And they don't explain, they're not graphic about the massacres or anything like that. But I think the authors really do try to paint history in the correct light. And so the second book that I read, what was the other one? The other one was about the Oregon Trail. That one was really, really good. I like that. This one is called Great Episodes, and I'm definitely going to try to get more of these. And the other one was called American Diary. For kids books, I really think they're worth. And I mean, so fast. You get through it so fast. So I got a list of things that I need to go over. First thing, Squid Game, The Challenge. I finished it. The episode that I was waiting for was the bridge, and they actually did the bridge. I'm not going to explain anything about it. For a reality game show, basically, where no one's life is in danger, I actually really enjoyed the show. I really think that the writers were smart, because they, like I said before, the players went in and they knew all the games from the first one. The people who entered, a lot of them, kind of thought it through, and they were, trying different things. And so the writers would upstage that, and they would not upstage. They would, they knew that the people would use that, and so they would try to subvert their expectations. That's the word I wanted. All right, let me get to my photos. Squid Game, The Challenge. Is it as good as Squid Game, the series? No. But I loved it. I really, really. Next, The Lincoln Lawyer. This is on Netflix. This is the 2nd season, so this is something my husband chose to watch while we were eating dinner. So I would come home from work, we start eating. He puts on an episode. Thoroughly enjoyed this series. Season 1, loved it. Season 2, I was really interested in it because it's filmed all through LA, and so I was kind of hooked because they would show everywhere he's driving, places I've been. But I'm actually really interested in the characters, and the courtroom drama is really interesting. It's a lot of fun. The Lincoln Lawyer, I'd recommend it. Next, okay, what is this called? Siri? Siri, turn off. I don't even know what it's called. Please stop. Oh, it worked. I watched Barbie on HBO Max, and I hadn't seen this. I had heard about how good this movie was, and I'm going to tell you that I thoroughly enjoyed it. Number one, it's gorgeous to look at. Number two, it's just funny. And number three, there's some really good dance numbers and songs in this movie that are so catchy. A friend of mine was saying how she couldn't get one of the songs out of her mind after a couple of days. I really enjoyed this movie. Best movie ever? No, but if you have Max, you definitely have to watch this movie. It's so much fun. I really liked Alan, the friend. One of the funny things, this is not really a spoiler, but they have a lot of the discontinued Barbies, and that was kind of funny. Next. Oh crap. God, I did a lot of research on a movie and all my pictures are on the phone. I came across this movie and it was called Carol for Another Christmas. Now, this is going to be a really weird recommendation because I'm going to not recommend this movie at all. It was not good. However, once I started researching this, it was really interesting. So this was written by Rod Serling. It was a made-for-TV movie. It was made to promote the United Nations, and it ran without commercial interruptions. It had a stellar cast. You can see some of them here, although in the end, like two of them weren't even in it. Like Peter Fonda never got into it. But they were advertising, I guess he couldn't make it or whatever. But it's really talky and preachy. I mean, it was like a stage play that, like, they didn't cut anything out of it. It was, some of the reviewers said, if the viewers could make it through the first dialogue between the two characters, which went on and on and on, it was just like, then maybe they could stay for the rest of the movie. Like, it was so boring. Having said that, and it's basically Scrooge, modern day Scrooge, right? For the time, that's promoting the United Nations. So it's very preachy about avoiding war and brotherhood of man and all this stuff. It was, I believe it's on HBO Max. But another thing that's really interesting is that once it aired on television, it was never seen again for 43 years. Right now it's streaming on HBO and you could finally watch it. It was, I don't know, like 10 years ago, it was shown in a movie theater. There was a revival. TCM ran it, and they even ran it without Henry Mancini wrote the music. The music wasn't in it. So they had to fix that. I mean, it's a fascinating history for a really bad movie. But it was still fascinating to watch. I mean, you've got all these really powerhouse actors, and it's so hammy. But I enjoyed, like, as I was watching it, I was just like, wow, this is so bad. And I just couldn't stop watching it. It was like, I mean, I knew where it was going, right? Because it was Scrooge. But I was like, and then when I realized, like, read the history. So can I recommend this movie? No. But if you're into movie and film history, yes, you really should see this. Next. So this is the one that I did a lot of research for. I watched John Ford's The Long Voyage Home. And notice that John Wayne is front and center on this. John Wayne has a really small but pivotal part. Like, his character is important. In fact, he has a Swedish accent. And it seemed to me like they were embarrassed to let him talk. Like, he hardly talks throughout the entire movie. You'll see him a lot in it. Yeah, he's just really underused. And I think that, like, this one was from Long Voyage from 1940. I don't know much about John Ford's career. I've seen some of his movies. But I don't know if this is early John Ford, because I know that John Ford used John Wayne a lot in his movies. But I think at this time, maybe he wasn't as established with him. Anyways, this is very different from John Ford's Westerns. This movie kind of flopped, but it's so important because the cinematographer the next year did Citizen Kane. Of course, that is one of American cinema's most landmark pictures. But so much of what he did in Citizen Kane is apparent in this movie. It was like a blueprint, or like a proving ground, testing ground. It was beautifully shot. It's very atmospheric. It's not your, like, typical movie where there's romance. Like, the movie poster is showing you romance. That is not what this movie's about. It's about all of these sailors that are stuck on a ship. And so it's all of this, like, claustrophobia of being on a ship. and like all the rumors that go around. It was a really, really interesting movie. Of course, you're going to see all the same actors that you see in other John Ford movies. Like you notice, like you recognize all the people. I would say that this one is recommended. It's not John Ford's best movie, but wow, the atmosphere, everything, and it was also flopped because it was very bleak, not a happy ending at all, a very depressing ending. And so this movie just kind of, maybe bucked the system, and I mean, it did what it wanted to do, and it told its own tale, and I think it suffered because of that. Hey everybody, I totally did a brain fart as I was remembering that I forgot to explain one reason why The Long Voyage Home was also historic. Now, I was talking about the cinematographer, so that gives you an idea of how some of this is lighted. There is a more kind of faithful poster, but notice how this poster really does look like you're going to watch a comedy. And so I can understand how people who went to this movie, seeing the romantic poster or seeing this one, would kind of be disappointed because they weren't getting what was kind of being advertised. Another reason why this was important historically is this is, I believe, the first time that the director invited artists, and I believe there were 11 art pieces. Not all of them survived. So they invited artists onto the set, and they painted pictures of what was going on. And then, like I said, not all of them have survived, but there was an article in Esquire. I would love to get this magazine from 1940, I believe. And you could see there some of the art pieces are there in the article. And I don't believe all 11 survives. I want to show you some of the artwork. So those are the actors, different actors in the movie. There's the director. Here's a scene. Like, this is a really strange one. There's a scene from the movie. There's another one of the actors. These paintings are gorgeous. There's another scene. This takes place in a bar in the near the end of the movie. Like, here's I took a picture of this in the movie because one of the art pieces. There it is. So I'll scroll back to see it again. Like, historic. And it's a shame that not all of the paintings survived. Like I said, it was featured in that issue of Esquire. And I went online and looked, and those old Esquires go for a lot of money. So now that I have to add this in, I am going to edit this video, and I'm going to cut all of that. Like, if you see a lot of cuts, it's because I was just rambling. And so I'm rambling now. Long Voyage Home. Recommended, but it's, not going to be for everyone, I don't think. Another movie that I watched was Leave the World Behind. Can't say enough good stuff about this movie. Loved it. I absolutely loved it. Stellar cast. Everyone is great in it. The themes, I related to all the themes in the movie. I agreed with most of them. I mean, they kind of hit you over the head with them, but I didn't care because I believed in them. And the characters, to me, were believable. The situation that they were put in and the way that they acted in those situations seemed believable. Those are the main four cast members. They were all four of them were excellent. And this one's on Netflix, and I highly recommend this movie. Now, this one has got a lot of buzz. Like, I hear people in chat rooms and whatever when I'm whatnot, they're talking about it. I'm trying not to spoil it. A lot of people are very confused about the ending. I shouldn't spoil anything. I'm not going to spoil it at all. But a lot of people are kind of dissatisfied with the ending. I wasn't at all. Not at all. Let's see what else. So that was Long Voyage Home, Carol for Another Christmas, Barbie, Lincoln Lawyer, Jenny of the Tetons. Oh, good thing I looked at this. Guz69, which is a YouTuber that I became friendly with, I guess I should say, friendly with like very early when I was a YouTuber. He is starting something new. He has a blog, and what he's going to do is he's going to try to show a skull a day. And on his blog, I think he's going to try to use vinyl. And he got this idea from a book that was encouraging it. And it's all on the blog. So his name is GUZ69, Guz69. So if you go to his channel, you can follow it to the blog. I'll try to put the blog link in the description of this video. Gotta remember that. So I'm going to try to support him. So what I'm going to do in my Friday night chats next year, I'm always going to try to show something with the skull every week. So I just have to do one thing per week, and it doesn't have to be a vinyl. Could be anything. So that's how I'm going to try to support Guz69. Keep you abreast on his progress of his Skull a Day challenge. Another movie that I watched was Genie. So my husband loves Christmas movies, so I got to sit through a lot of them. So I was not looking forward to watching this movie. So he wanted to watch Genie. It's on Peacock. It's got Melissa McCarthy and I'm sorry, I do not know his name. They were both very good in it. It's just, eye-rolling stuff for me. Like, overall, did I enjoy the movie? Yeah, but it's like, it's a Christmas movie with, I don't know. This is just not my cup of tea. I watched it. It's not horrible. I was rolling my eyes. My husband, sensed me rolling my eyes. He was, patting me like, it's okay, it's okay. Because he knew some of it was just so bad, but it's a Christmas movie. If you like this kind of thing, you'll enjoy it. It's not a horrible Christmas movie. Oh, and it's about a genie, genie from a lamp, right? So she's a genie, and he gets all the wishes. And I don't know, I just felt like the beginning of it was so bad because his wife and daughter leave him, and it just everything seemed blown way out of proportion to me. It's just he's got a job and he's got to make money. So I didn't understand, they were complaining, because he's never home, they just left him. But he was at work. He was making money. It didn't make any sense to me. And they live in Manhattan, where everything must be, expensive. So I did not understand. So I was, rolling my eyes. I don't understand why she's complaining. And I mean, she was really complaining to him. She was and the daughter was treating him like crap, giving him lip for the same thing. But after that, I kind of just, suspended my disbelief, I guess. So I just kind of, got into it. Too long in this Genie movie. I wouldn't recommend it. But if you like this kind of movie, then you'll enjoy it. My husband certainly enjoyed it. And then I have a book that I read. I thought it had more than one book. I read a book called How Much of These Hills is Gold? And it was long listed for the Booker. Hold on. If I didn't get a picture of the book, it's got a pretty, that's the cover of the novel. I thought it was very pretty, this golden cover. But honestly, I thought, this is some, weird phallic symbol because you got these two and that. That's what I saw. But this is about gender and sex in some weird ways. This one is going to be a hard sell. So this was longlisted for the Booker Prize. I really enjoyed this book, but it's very writerly. In fact, most of the people online are complaining because a lot of people really like this book or they really dislike this book. And it's falling into this category of writing where they are writers are showing the American westward expansion in more realistic light, like Cormac McCarthy did, right, in All the Pretty Horses and Blood Meridian. Okay, there's certainly a lot of violence in this. So this is about a family, a mother who came from China to work in the gold rush. Right, the father, who was Chinese but American, born in the United States but of Chinese descent, and they have two children. Each person has a different. Each of the four has a different idea of what home is and what they want. And among this is the backdrop of all the violence against Chinese immigrants and the gold people cheating. People looking for gold in the gold rush. And many of the characters get their own say. They get their own chapters and they jump back and forth. And once you hear one character's point of view, you kind of rethink the way that they acted. Yeah, like I said, this book was very interesting, but very writerly. I know a lot of people don't like that. A lot of people were complaining how it was such a struggle to get through the first part of this book. But the ideas in the book are very important. Since I listened to it, I didn't have a problem getting through the first part of the book. I do remember thinking to myself, oh, I hope this gets better. But it was never oh, I want to give this up. Because I think I was getting into the metaphors that were being presented, or maybe the allegories. So yeah, I'll talk about one. Like the first part of the book, the two kids have to leave their home because the father has died, and the mother, we don't know what happened to the mother, I think, at this point. But the father dies, and the father was very, very abusive toward the children, except to one of the children, but not the other. And they go all into why. There's a lot of issues with transgender and sexuality in this part of the book. And that was another thing that some people said online, like that it wasn't represented in an honest way, because in some ways, so the kids were leaving. They had to leave, but they carried their father's body with them because they have the idea that they need to bury their father, and he has to be buried with 2 silver pieces on his eyes. And so as they're going along, like their family unit has disintegrated, and the father is literally like disintegrating along this route, and pieces of him are like falling out along the way. It was a great metaphor, I thought. So I was kind of hooked. Like there's a lot of like that kind of writing in here, which some people, they were saying that there was too much of that, right? It was like the author was really trying hard to put all these metaphors and allegories. I don't know, I kind of enjoyed it. I didn't mind it. That was actually long listed. It did not make the Booker Prize shortlist. Don't forget, hopefully I'll be in better shape on Saturday to run my live show. Like I said, I've got a whole bunch of stuff to get rid of. I think some of it's nice. I mean, it all depends on what you want. Like, you can just join it. You don't have to take any of it. If it's crap, it's crap. You can just, I don't want that. Then you can laugh at me like, nobody wants that crap. Like, I'll be fine with that, right? But I hope to see you on Saturday. Remember, it's 4 p.m. Pacific time, California time in the United States. I want to thank everyone out there for the support. Oh, if I don't see you, Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. I guess I'm supposed to say that.